Good morning and welcome to the City County Commons meeting of Lancaster County and the Lincoln County Commissioners and the Lincoln City Council. Today's date is Tuesday, August the 13th, 2024. First, I'd like to announce, or at least note, that this is a meeting that follows the Nebraska Open Meetings Act. A copy of the act is located at the wall at the back of the room next to the door in which you entered. Today, I am chairing this meeting for the next couple of minutes, as it was very confusing, but the last chair is Roma Amason, who is not available today, and her vice chair was councilperson Tammy Ward, who's no longer on council. The person taking her seat was Councilman Tom Beckius, who wasn't able to join us, and I was the vice chair incoming at the time that Tammy Ward was the outgoing chair, and so it falls to me this morning to chair this meeting until we've elected a new chair.
Thank you for your work on that.
Vice
We
chair.
appreciate it.
Thank you. It's sort of organizational Tetris. First call in this meeting is to approve the common meeting minutes from August 16th, 2022, and the minutes from February 14th, 2023.
Do we need to separate? I'll move approval of the August 16th meeting.
I'll second that. All right. Commissioner Vest and Commissioner Yocum, first and second on August 16th. Any discussion? Not
Point of
seeing.
order, if I abstained, do we have quorum, or? I wasn't there, so I don't know if I should.
Most of us were not.
Yeah,
Most of us were not.
we're not, so I don't know how we want to handle that, but it's worthy of discussion, I think.
I was at August, but not at February.
I think that's why
Yes.
the August minutes didn't get approved, is because we didn't have quorum.
We did not have quorum in order to accept those minutes in August.
I'm okay with,
I believe that you
Accepting,
can
but-
abstain because we have quorum in this meeting.
Okay.
We don't have to have quorum on the vote.
for the
Majority will pass it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, that was Robert's rules without the book in front of me. All right.
We
So,
don't even use Roberts, we use Masons, and it's, and
Masons?
even then, and even then, we say Masons is a guideline.
Okay, fabulous. If Sage would call the roll?
Weber,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yep.
Carlson,
Abstain?
Vest,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Bowers.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Now I'll take a motion and a second on the February 14th, 2023 minutes.
I'm going to move approval.
Best approval,
Second.
second Schulte.
With one small change, my name is misspelled in those minutes, so if we could add a C to my name.
You'd like to buy a C?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, with that change noted, any discussion? Any other discussion? All right, Sage, would you call the roll?
Weber,
Yes.
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Carlson,
Abstain?
Vest,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Yocum,
Abstain.
Bowers.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Now to the core of our business. Election of the chair and the vice chair through December 31st, 2024. And without having to go through the organizational Tetris and history lesson that I did, I would suggest to fill out Commissioner Amundson's term that we have a chair come from the county and a vice chair from the city.
She could actually remain the chair, can't she?
Yeah,
Not here.
there's one meeting left in November, and I
Yeah.
think Roma would be available for that, so I would move that Roma continue as chair throughout the duration of 24.
Fantastic. A second, please.
Second?
Second, Carlson. Let's call the vote. Oh, are there any other nominations? All right.
The
No
city
other,
people should pick their vice chair, and we'll just support whatever you guys want.
okay.
You wanted Justin. Here
So
we go.
let's vote on the chair. Let's call the vote on that. Sage?
Weber,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
and Bowers.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Now we need a vice chair through December 31st, 2024.
Want us to pick, we will.
I'm looking at city council persons. As chair, I'm going to hold back a neutral position.
Brody? Yeah, I was gonna say, I
I'll
nominate.
nominate Brody, yeah.
Fabulous.
I'll second.
All
Councilman
right.
Weber, excuse
A
me.
lot of people were ready to put you on.
Yeah, I guess, if unopposed, I'll accept.
Well,
If
fabulous.
it's contested, I'm willing to drop out, okay?
All right, so we have a first of Carlson, a second of Vest. Any discussion? Here's your opportunity.
I think he's extremely qualified. What can I say? No.
Fabulous. All right, Brody has been nominated as vice chair. Sage, would you call the roll?
Flowerday,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yep.
Carlson,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
and Weber.
Yes.
Motion passes.
It's in the
And-
bylaws that you have to bring donuts to the next meeting.
I can do that.
Oh,
Support
fabulous.
local business in District 4. Donut shops.
Okay, so thank you, Roma and Absentia and Brody, right here presently as chair and vice chair. So Brody, I can hand this meeting over to you from here on out.
Yes. Let me get my agenda.
There's one on the dais waiting for you here.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I didn't realize you'd have to switch seats.
Yeah.
And take back my vote.
Yeah, exactly. Get situated.
Fantastic.
James, Matt, it's been fun. Alrighty. Grab a pen. Seeing that we just completed election of chair and vice chair through December 31st, 2024, the next item would be discussion of Legislative Bill 43, amending Section 84-1412, subsection 1 of the Nebraska Opens Meeting Act. Is there
Well,
discussion?
Chairman Weber, I had placed this on the agenda just as a marker for a conversation about the changes in the Open Meetings Act, and just curious how each of us were approaching this.
Absolutely. So, are there any members I would like to be recognized for discussion?
Well,
Commissioner
sure.
Vest?
Yeah, thank you. For informational purposes, the county, we now have public comment on all of our public meetings, whether it's Justice Council, staff meetings, or any other time where the county board is in session in quorum. So.
County board or county, because it applies to Assemble Lincoln as well,
Right.
right? So it's any of the subcommittees too.
Mental Health Crisis Center,
Right.
all of those.
So it's just one of the agenda items that is there.
And that is to comment on items on the agenda in those meetings. Our Tuesday meetings are still public comment on items not on the agenda. But because we've given the opportunity at every meeting to speak, we've shortened that time during those meetings.
How many minutes do you?
30.
On
30
Tuesday.
minutes in total.
3, she said.
Sorry, yes.
30 in total.
The per speaker
Okay.
is 5 minutes, but could vary if they have
Yeah.
a lot of
On
speakers.
Tuesday meetings, but at committee meetings, subcommittee meetings, it's 3 minutes with 15 minutes opportunity.
That sounds right.
All right, yeah, we still have public comments on each of the city council meetings that are held on Monday, the formal meetings, on items on the agenda, and then twice a month, anything you'd like to speak about. 5 minutes is typically what we ask. And then we're just beginning to, directors was the new one that we added to that, but other city committee boards and commissions have always had a moment to speak about items, either on the agenda or not. We haven't set, that I know of, we haven't set time limits on committees, commissions. Just an opportunity to address.
Any further discussion on this matter?
Have you seen a noticeable increase in participation yet?
Not yet. I mean, we've had pretty consistent, frequent flyers that come out and speak, and I think in today's society, there's a real, clearly this law change was to create the opportunity for more people to speak in public, and I think we need to continue to fight for that and recognize the idea behind the law, not just meeting the law, and so giving people the chance to speak publicly and express their ideas and thoughts is essential for us as elected officials to hear from the public.
Absolutely. I think we see that as a core value of accessible government, and certainly if you've watched any of our meetings at the end on Mondays, you'll see that we don't limit the speech of folks who want to come and address council.
Do you do your budget meetings separately, or do you do them in?
We
Are
do.
they embedded in the meeting, or are they a separate meeting?
They're a separate meeting, and those also have opportunities for public
Yeah,
comment.
ours too, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Same.
We haven't seen, I haven't noticed any change yet and how people approach, but I expect it'll become more frequent, the more people understand.
Well, I know there were, I'm not going to speak to the reason for the bill necessarily. I know that there was some consternation over, there were county boards that meet like once a month out west that then were allowing public comment like once a quarter. And they were technically within the realms of the old law, but it just wasn't, that didn't feel very, once every 90 days didn't feel very open to a lot of people, and if they couldn't make that one specific meeting. So I know when this bill passed, there was a lot of, the conversation was really focused around that kind of stuff on the legislative floor.
Yeah, I went back and read the whole set of, changes and the original thing, and I was a little surprised to realize that we could in fact hold our meetings out of state. No, I don't intend to, but when I read that, I thought,
Well,
Where are
let's
we
take
gonna
this
meet?
show on the road.
yes, I know, I don't imagine that will ever.
That's,
We need another state down there.
Yeah, exactly. Mark another state off the list.
Yeah, so but I appreciated the detail which the Open Meetings Act had been drafted to allow for all kinds of contingencies. All right. Well, thank you.
Any further discussion on Legislative Bill 43? Seeing none, that would move to discussion of potential topics for the next common meeting. Do any members have any topics that they would like to bring forward at this time?
There's questions that
Commissioner?
I get asked about from the city side, at least, related to the parking lot and the parking in the transportation center. I get asked about that. That's something that we're not obviously directly involved in, but that's an area which our county employees and even state employees that business in county space are asking us a lot about, and so there'd be some opportunity there for you guys to either educate us or help the city better communicate to people about when those changes are actually going to come and what those changes are. So that's one city county topic that comes to mind right away.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. Any other topics that members would like to discuss?
Well, there might be things that come out of the special session that might be worthy.
True.
At one point, I had hoped that we could have an update on the special session at this meeting, but our lobbyist wasn't available to come, and
They're probably all pretty busy
Yeah.
today.
they're all really,
Yeah.
really busy, and nothing's settled, so. So, maybe by November, we could have an update on implications of that.
Absolutely. Any other topics members would like to bring forward for discussion for the next common meeting?
No, I think that's a really smart, just sort of echoing off of what Councilman was saying there is I've thought for a while both from the, I'm blanking on what the chamber was calling it, but the United Community Agenda to, over the last several sessions has been really, really successful.
Yes.
And I think the more we interface our legislative priorities and get on the same page with it, I think, quite frankly, we haven't lost yet doing that, at least not to my knowledge, and I think we're really well served when we do that. So I just want to say, I absolutely think we should have a meeting to coordinate on it, and then I think we should be instructing our legislatives, our lobbyists to and frankly, they already do kind of work together.
Yeah, they
But to
do.
actively be building a cohesive strategy to work together as a community, and to kind of divide and conquer. So I think we're stronger together when we're talking with the legislature.
Yeah, strengthening that process, it would be good.
And, not trying to now throw a wrench in this, but, I hear that bridges seem to be a conversation, a topic of conversation, infrastructure, those things that we share or we trade with each other, or the city accepts from the county.
I was gonna say, they only go one way.
I know.
Like trade?
Yeah,
You want,
trade.
I got a bridge for you. You want
Well, we agreed a couple years ago to stop cutting bridges in half.
Wilderness Park, $1 right now. Let's go. Who wants it?
Yeah, so it's a topic of conversation. I didn't know if we really want to go public with that, but we probably should talk a little bit about Wilderness Park,
We'll pay you.
annexation, bridges. There are a number of people who are grimacing who are watching this meeting now because I mentioned that. But
We'll throw in South 98th Street.
we don't have to
As
accept
is.
every gift.
As is.
Any other topics,
I
Commissioner?
would just add that we have doing a study. UNO and some other agencies are working together to study the criminal justice system in its entirety. I believe that will be released well before our November meeting. I don't know if you all we will have a briefing on it. I don't know if you all would like to have a briefing on it, in that we've asked them to look at the problem in total and try to give us alternatives to just building more space for incarceration.
No, it's very interesting. I just attended a conference last week with Councilman Shob on criminal justice reform. And even though it's squarely within the city, there are parts that overlap and where we intersect. And I think it's a worthy topic of conversation.
It's mostly your people out
I was
there,
gonna say, it
so
affects the people of Lincoln.
It does affect the
certainly.
people of Lincoln.
our people.
Yes. Well, that seems like a pretty good list to start with.
Pretty comprehensive, so if there's no other topics that members would like to bring forward, that would take us to our next item, which is that our next meeting is Monday, November 18th, 2024 at 12:45 p.m. And then we are now opened up to public comment on items on the agenda. Members wishing to speak on items on the agenda may speak during the public comment period of the agenda. The chair will recognize and call forward those who wish to speak. Each speaker is limited to one appearance up to 3 minutes, and that time may not be reserved, transferred, or otherwise assigned to other speakers. These time limits may be extended at the discretion of the chair. The public comment period will be limited to no more than 15 minutes in duration, and the meeting will conclude at 12 p.m. Anyone from the public wishing to speak?
Christy, Dave, anybody?
Not all at once. Any members from the public wishing to speak? If not, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Flowerday, seconded by Washington. Please call the roll.
Weber,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yep.
Carlson,
Yes.
Best,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
and Bowers.
Yes.
Motion passes.
We are now adjourned. Thank you.
All right.